we're going to win. And we're going to win a championship. Otherwise, why are we doing it?
Well, what's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Star Chasers, Girls Talk Ball. As you guys know, it's your girl Cravin Cowboys, and as always, I got my girl Star in the building. How you doing tonight, sis?
Doing good. What's up to everybody in the chat? Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Y'all know when y'all come in to please hit the like button, please hit the share button, and please hit the subscribe button. Please subscribe to Mickey and I's channel, hers Cravin Cowboys, my Stargazer Sports. We're getting close. For myself, we're at 975.
Yes, talk about it.
Yeah, we're at 975 subscribers. So thank you guys much.
You right there, sis, man. You right there, sis,
I know.
Man.
Can y'all get me to 1,000 on this stream? I only need how much? That's what, 25? 25 more subscribers. So y'all help me out, please, if you can. But and also donate to our Cash Apps as well, so that we can continue to sorry y'all, I'm typing something, but so we can continue to grow the channel and upgrade, our software and do, a lot of our whole setup basically. So please donate to the channel and help us out any way you can. Any amount of money helps. You guys have already donated a lot to me. Thank you guys all for your Cash Apps. I now have over $100 in Cash Apps, so now I can officially get that software that I want to do, so that I can finally bring my buttons back into the show, and I can actually hear myself through my mic, because I'm running my sound through my USB port, but when you do that, you can't hear it. So, but anyway, yeah, thank everybody. I know it'll be more people coming to the chat as we get into the show.
Yes, facts. Just like Star was saying, make sure you guys hit the subscribe. She's so close. I can't wait to hit that thou wow, sis. I for real, man. Because I just seeing you come up, man. Like for real, like it's very, very inspirational. I mean, you continue to put the work in, you know what I'm saying? You do awesome videos, you know what I'm saying? Like, your stuff, man. Like you're one of the reasons why I got into it too. Like, it's just, I love watching your work, sis. So
I really appreciate that thing.
You spending the time and putting the time in, and like she said, make sure you guys subscribe. She's right there, y'all. She's like right there. Please,
yes,
guys,
help us.
Please.
Thank y'all.
We're gonna jump into the content, but I made because we kind of my slow self got this go live, but so we kind of started, so we're kind of starting over again, y'all. So just kind of bear with me. But pretty much gonna jump right in. We pretty much hoped and expected the Cowboys to beat the Raiders like they did, 33-16. Beat them pretty handedly.
Fact.
And just like we kind of mentioned in the pre-show, offense that was struggling. The Raiders, the defense that wasn't doing too great either. Outside of Max Crosby, which we were able to pretty much kind of max him out the game. No pun intended. But just some of the things we kind of talked about, kind of those chips, kind of just those things to kind of throw them off at the line. I saw one instance where Tyler Smith was pretty much Superman, jumping out there to kind of throw him off. So just some of the things that Shotty and kind of Clayton Adams are kind of cooking up, as far as trench work on the offensive line. I love just some guys who stood out to me, Tyler Booker and of course Tyler Smith. I know he had some penalties in the game, but man, Booker. Well, Smith had some penalties, but Booker wasn't. At least to me, was an absolute dog in the run game. The way he was mauling guys. I mean, I think he even got like an unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, but just seeing him just really kind of coming to himself. Really, the rookies, all around, like a lot of the rookies in the game stood out. But I love what he did in the run game. Really, the offensive line, just as a whole. Aside the Terrence Steele, I love how he handled Max Crosby. Like I just really think our offensive line it is, in my opinion, one of the standouts. What were some of your thoughts as well? Watching the game. What were some of your thoughts coming off the game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we did do the pregame show, and I said in the pregame show, they don't have much. You know what I'm saying? Like they got Brock Bowers and then Genty, but Genty has not been able to produce this year. I showed that he's like bottom in the league of yards before contact because his offensive line is so bad. So, and they hardly run the ball. Like against us, I was wrong about one of my predictions. I said, oh, they're going to try to throw a curveball and give the ball to Genty 100 times, even though they haven't done that all year. But nope. Genty they actually gave him less carries. He only got 6 carries.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, like
that was insane. That was insane. Really? Your running back is less than 10 attempts? That was wild. Like I know we talked about him not being a bright spot, but really your only running back, because we mentioned like they don't even use most, and even in this game it seemed like they tried to use Mostert as like a compliment. I mean, but of course it didn't go well. But even in this they tried, but it's like you only give Genty that many. I was surprised. I don't know, because they were just trying to throw it into the tight ends. Even a third tight end got, I think, maybe 1 or 2 attempts. But I think they just kind of came into the game planning to try to throw the ball a lot, but to not run the ball. I mean, I was surprised at that. They
didn't run the ball. They didn't try to run the ball. I'm pretty sure that might have been Genty's least amount of carries that he's had in any game this year. Like I have no idea why. But I mean, I guess they just felt like it wasn't working. Let's be honest. We were in that backfield. We were in that backfield all night long. Their center, that interior was clearly no match at all for our interior, which is crazy because when is the last time the Dallas Cowboys have had an interior defensive line to be feared? The 90s, maybe? Like, I don't feel like we have not had like, wow, a scary, interior defensive line, because we've always neglected that position. We've always tried to make tweeners. Oh, he's a defensive end, but we turn him into a DT, and we're just gonna get this fat guy off the streets. He'll be able to do it, or we're gonna spend a 7th round pick and he'll be able to do it. But obviously obviously the coaches, I believe it was the coaches, because I mean, Will McClay, Jerry, and them, they've been here. You know what I'm saying? So obviously this regime of coaches was emphasizing to them, we need to take the defensive tackle position seriously, because it is the key to our whole defense. And I remember a lot of people saying, oh, and we can bring up the box score, but I know a lot of people were saying, oh, one player, don't make the trade, Jerry, don't make the trade. One player not going to help y'all. One player not going to help y'all. Well, I think what do you think? Did Quentin Williams help us?
I mean, you saw it, Lil. I think that answered the question. You feel like, sis, like, I mean, really pretty much off rip, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, even before, Kenny Clark was here before, right? And we talk about, he wasn't making that much of a difference, but I mean, we saw just almost an instant impact. Really, Clark had his first sack. Like, he was the first one to make a sack in that game because of the addition of Quentin Williams. And you saw other guys kind of, like you said, flooding the pocket. We talked about the combination of Clowney and Ezraku on the outside. And what did we see for the most part in the game for the combination as far as edges? We saw. I mean, we did see Sam Williams getting there. And
we saw Sam Williams. We saw a sprinkle of James Houston, but I believe that they're now shifted to the main guys being Clowney and Ezraku.
Correct. Correct. And I just love that combination. They constantly, at least in my opinion, they constantly seem to get pressure on the quarterback. I mean, like we mentioned with Clowney, and even like we mentioned, shout out to Sam Williams. I think he even just did like a chip on JJ. I just don't think pass pro is his strength, because I think Sam Williams just kind of knocked him a little bit, and it kind of blew him completely off his feet. So it's just, I like the way the guys were putting pressure on the pocket, but at the same time, it allowed the guys in the middle to eat, and Osa as well. You know what I'm saying? We saw him get busy. And like we talk about with the coaching, sis. I mean, just the extra point. We know we talk about White Cotton having familiarity with all these guys. Quentin Williams, Solomon Thomas, and then they just activated Perion Winfrey, who also has chemistry with these guys. So just this whole flood of guys that we have, coming out the interior right now is just
it's crazy. It's basically like our defensive tackle position is now a strength.
Correct.
It's a huge strength of a hardcore strength of our team. Yeah, it's a weapon. Absolutely. Shout out to Boss and Lou, who have been putting out videos about how Quentin Williams is a chess piece. Quentin Williams is our Micah Parsons replacement. Even though
is it the shoes?
Is it the shoes? Facts. Even though, and shout out to you guys in the chat, Don Jizzle, my guy JV, Roger Frazier. Thank you guys for being in the chat. We know it'll be more of you guys coming in, but thank y'all so much for being in here. Choctaw in here? It must be. I think the comments are coming in slow.
Yeah, they must be. Because they weren't even coming on at first, but now they're coming up.
Yeah, they finally coming up. I'm sorry, guys. The chat is coming up delayed on our end. So if you in the chat, we have been shouting you out just because y'all comments are literally just now popping up. I'm gonna try to just go to my YouTube page so I can see in real time if y'all have like any questions or anything. But like, yeah, thank y'all for being in the chat with us. We really appreciate it. But anyway, getting back to how Quentin Williams is our chess. Oh, that's Montana. Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay. I didn't realize you changed his name. Okay.
You changed the name of it because I was like, is Montana here? But right. Thank you guys so much for being in chat. But what was I saying? Oh, how Quentin Williams now is our chess piece. Yes. And how adding him upgraded your entire defense. Literally, one person upgraded your entire defense because you have Quentin Williams. Now Osa can play better. Now Kenny Clark can play better. Now the edges can play better. I wish I had the clip on because the Sounds on the Sideline came out. Maybe I'll try to find the clip where what's his name? Not Kenneth Murray, but Quentin Williams was chastising already. I'm like, he just got here 2 weeks, what? And he was chastising Donovan Ezeraku because Donovan Ezeraku didn't do something right, and he was like, "I got you, Q." He just kept saying like, "I got you, Q. I got you, Q. I got you," because he was like trying to tell him like, if you do this, then I can get the sack. I almost got the sack there. You know what I'm saying? So it was either he was chastising Ezeraku because he didn't get the sack, or he was chastising him because he didn't do the right thing and he didn't get the sack. But you can see. But yeah, the Sounds of the Sideline was really good this week. I feel like you really saw, even Ezeraku, like you kind of I saw a lot of leadership traits, and I think Shotty had mentioned him as one of the guys who really had stepped up in the locker room as a leader, especially during the time that Marshawn passed. But on the Sounds of the Sideline, you'll really see him. He's going to everybody. He's going to the offense, dapping them up, encouraging, telling them we're gonna do good today and all this stuff. Like I was like, wow, okay. Like I'm really excited for Ezeraku. I feel like next year he's gonna be unstoppable. But
he's really progressing. He's really progressing. But if you look at Quentin Williams here, 1.5. Let me see if I can go to the page. But Quentin Williams, 1.5 sacks, tackle for loss, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got Malik Hooker. I was like, okay, Malik came back. He had a great, I love his comeback game.
This was a good comeback game. I mean, tackle for loss, pass deflection. Look at these pass deflections, guys.
Oh, speaking of
pass deflections all year.
on that play that Hooker actually came downfield, it was Williams who actually was able to get the lineman out the way, and Hooker was able to kind of fill the gap. It came downhill and make that tackle. Like that's the instant impact.
That's the
That's what we're talking about.
That's the instant impact. Like you even met Malik Hooker playing better. Dono didn't really show up much on the stat sheet, but hey, he ain't get burned.
Right, and they had him at the box too. They had him in the box where he shines, man. That's what I love. It's like they're getting guys back to what their strengths are and put them in the right positions to where I hate to say where they belong in the field, because yes, guys can play multiple positions, but it's about where they thrive at. And you're starting to see guys give it. Even Reddy Stewart, like we didn't see a ton of him, but they have him at the line of scrimmage and they have him playing nickel. That's what he specializes in. He did play. I think he played a little bit of coverage. I'm not 100% sure, but when I did see him around the line of scrimmage, we saw the short tackling. Deron Bland. Short tackling, like I love the tackling in this game. It's just like
Deron Bland led your team in tackles.
Exactly, I wasn't even seeing
10 total tackles, and so then next was Shamar, then Maris. Shout out to Maris. I really like what I saw from Maris. I said, okay. You know, you started seeing the discipline, the his techniques, not completely slowing down the width on tackles, but like just making sure he's taking the right pursuit angles, breaking down properly so that he can make the open field tackle on Genty, because they were trying to get Genty in space a lot, which was more than they haven't really done that all season, but they were trying to get Genty in space a lot, so that, he could make some guys miss, break some tackles. Because Ashton Genty is pretty hard to bring down, and so they were really trying to do that. But you saw people breaking down, everybody hustling to the ball and making those tackles.
Right. And actually to your earlier point, sis, this actually ties the amount of attempts he had. Because I think early in the season, I just checked when they played the Chiefs, when the Raiders played the Chiefs, Genty only had 6 rush attempts. He did have he only had 1 pass attempt. That's probably the only game where he had less attempts, as far as versus our game.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, James Houston had a sack tackle for loss. Kenny Clark a sack and a half tackle. A half sack tackles for loss. Osa had a sack tackle. Like, look at your defensive line. Y'all think that's a coincidence? Overshown, shout out to Overshown, came back, had himself a tackle for loss.
Easy had a safety. He was the first one to hop on Genty, and everyone else just followed.
Exactly. I know they gave it to Sam Williams as well, but Ezraku, 2 tackles for loss. He's really becoming an animal in the pass game. And then Malik Hooker with a pass deflection. Carson, our guy Carson. Carson was the only.
I was surprised.
Carson was and they had him on Bowers a lot. Carson was your only player that played 100% of the snaps on defense. Yeah. And you could see how he was turning up. Yeah. Kenneth Murray. Shout out to Kenneth Murray. I guess having Logan Wilson behind his back. What up to my guy Ken? Glad to see. What did he say? You can easily troll a troll if you have a working email. What he talking about? Okay, I don't know. Y'all talking about something, but I agree with JV. I want Maris to succeed. It seemed like they were really rotating what I heard. I haven't watched the All 22 film, so I don't know. But they did say it looked like we're going to continue to deploy a heavy rotation of the linebackers. And I'm like, I feel like, get them all involved. Honestly, the one I didn't like the most, and I know he was second in tackles, but I thought Shamar James looked slow as hell out there. When I saw him, I was like, why is he on in my house? Like, why is he on the field? Like, he don't need to, he just looked slower than everybody else. And again, maybe I gotta go watch the film, because of course I only watched the broadcast view. But when I go back and watch the film, I'm gonna be really looking at when were these tackles made and occurred, because shout out to our guy Lou. Really appreciate you, Lou. Y'all know Lou is one of the best content creators we have in the space. So y'all please go follow Lou on Lou's takes on his YouTube channel. But but
to your points, I think Shamar James, I think at least for me early in the game, I think he had some quick tackles. And I don't know about the rest of maybe the second half of the game or maybe the rest of his snaps. But I think in the beginning of the game, I think he had some early on tackles for, I think that was he was quick off the ball, was able to kind of diagnose early. But I don't know how his complete game was. But I think he made a couple plays in the first couple a couple defensive snaps anyway.
Okay, well, like I said, I got to go back and look. I just remember there were points in the game, but sometimes a point in the game don't mean that's how they performed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the whole game, it just means probably that just was not a great play. But also Revel, I mean, he didn't pop up great on the stat sheet, but he actually looked. I looked at some. That's right, Lou. Sub up 25 away, but Revel looked a lot better than I expected him to. He looked a lot. He looked a lot better. I think he did end up wearing a knee brace, but it wasn't the same knee brace we saw in practice. I think it was just like a little tiny one that was like just directly over his knee. But you did see the burst. You did see the anticipation. You did see
change of direction.
His change of direction. You did see his ability to play zone. He looked very comfortable. Like when I did my Carson breakdown, I showed how Carson looked like he was comfortable in zone. And Revel is the same way, very comfortable in zone. Yeah. So now you have two young outside corners that look very promising. Look very promising if they can continue to build on. And then, of course, you also have Diggs in the weights that we should be able to bring back late December, for a playoff push. Hopefully he is able to come back and he doesn't have to have season-ending knee surgery, because I know they were saying that if his knee doesn't get better, like I guess he's been dealing with swelling and stuff like that. So they were like, if his knee doesn't get better over this time that he's been out, then he's gonna have to have surgery. And I do feel like if Diggs had to have another surgery on his knee, he probably gonna have to hang it up. Man. Because that's two back-to-back knee injuries on different knees,
right? And
now you're having more complications.
Damn.
So I really,
No, I'm sorry. That reminds me of John Stevens. I mean, that was something he was a guy I was really, really high on last season, and to see him kind of have a double injury back-to-back years, that I mean, it kind of, you definitely question the player can even come back from that. You know what I mean? So especially that he kind of came back early in the season. He looked like we talked about him even being ahead of Rebel, but now for him to I'm not sure if he's having setbacks, but hopefully he can get back, because I mean just as soon as our DB room is starting to look strong again, it's like we're missing our strongest DB. So it's just like I hope he, like you mentioned, I hope he can get it back, because I do like you mentioned the speed of Rebel. You know what I'm saying? And at least for me, Carson. I mean, I feel like you mentioned, he stepped up in a big way, and even progressions from last week. So just like you said, him playing the full amount of snaps in this game, and even playing really, like we talked about in the last game, that really the best player, as we probably see on the Raiders team, or as I see on the Raiders team, Brock Bowers, and for him to kind of handle him. And so I like what I've seen in Kalen Carson now, and I'm still looking forward to see if he can continue to progress each week and continue to see if he can show up, especially in a big spot like that. Starting cornerback, especially with the way our room has been looking. But I like how our guys are kind of showing up, and how our second level is starting looking, like you mentioned, with the rotation of the linebackers. I think it's good that these guys are getting more snaps.
Facts. I agree with that, and I think that and then shout out to Angie, my sis Angie. Shout out to Angie. Glad to see you in the chat. Hopefully, I think I shouted out my guy Ken Berry, but shout out to my guy Ken. Really appreciate you guys being in the chat. But yeah, what we want for the young corners is just for them to continue, like sis said, just to continue to build. Because that's the thing, you can't have two games and then you got a shit game. Like, you got to continue to build on what you're doing. That's how you continue to get your starting time. And shout out to our guy Joseph Hoyt. He put out an article talking about Kalen Carson. It was a very good article. Let me see if I can pull it up. I may be able to pull it up. I'm probably not going to read it, but I'll just show y'all the article in Joe's page so that y'all can go and read it yourselves. But let me see. Here you go. But he put out a great article about Kalen Carson, and how Kalen Carson, how he got his his starting position. He talks about how Shotty really challenged him. He said the whole coaching staff challenged him about how he was practicing and the effort and stuff that he was putting in. And he was like, it actually was a long time coming, because he was like, I had to start off in practice, being consistent, making plays in practice. And he was like, once I started making plays in practice, and they were like, okay, let's give him a shot, give him a little snaps here, give a little. So, got him a little snaps. Then he got more snaps versus the Cardinals. And then now he's worked his way up to 100%. He was the only player. Here the article go. But here it is, guys. The article over Kalen. This is my guy Joe. He's a friend of the channel. Been on here. Hopefully we can get Joe on here sometime again. But y'all go follow him on X. But yeah, how he earned that role, and he talks about how it was really difficult. He talks about how it was difficult for him because his injuries. I didn't really think about it, but he was like, his injuries set him back a lot. And he was like, I was starting to lose confidence, because last year he said his shoulder, I forgot he had a shoulder injury. And that's why we had to put him on IR, because he was like, I was trying to make it through my shoulder injury, but he was like, I could not bear it. So they had to end up putting me on IR. That set me back. Then missed the whole training camp, because I think, what was it, a hamstring injury or something? So the fact that Kalen Carson missed the whole training camp and he's looking the way he's looking, that's really impressive. That shows that he put in a lot of work over the off season, and that he really just had to get it was a mental side that he had to get right. And shout out to this coaching staff for really challenging these players. Like I do like the way, and it's not perfect. Of course, we're 4-5-1, but I do like that there is a discipline aspect,
right?
And they are building competition. We're not resting on our laurels and saying, "Oh, we got this guy; he's good enough." Hell no! You just pay Osa. You say, "Okay," and now I'm gonna go pay Quentin Williams. And now I'm gonna get Kenny Clark. Right. Oh, we traded for Kenneth Murray. We got what's his name? Sanborn. We got Maris. Okay, now I'm gonna go get Logan Wilson.
Right.
Like, we're building competition, on all phases. Especially the positions where we were really suffering. And then also just a discipline aspect. Like, we'll go just do a brief overview of the offense, but CD talked about why they were disciplined, which I appreciate CD for doing that, because he didn't have to. But CD talked about why they were disciplined, and he was like, we went to dinner. We was at the Hard Rock basically past curfew, and that's why we were disciplined. But when the last time y'all seen star players get disciplined? Like, when have y'all ever seen that? I'm seeing, it just feels different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, the way the players are talking, the actions that are taking place. Even Dak, like, I watched on the sounds of the sideline, like, Dak was telling the lineman, like, rip the hands down. Yeah. Like, he telling them, like, stop allowing them to bat passes down.
Right. Right, you can see the energy was different, totally in the game. Like, because you could obviously see they were playing tempo. But you could just see Dak get to the line. At the end of the first quarter, he was like, get to the other end of the field. Like, he was like not rushing them, but just saying, like, hey guys, stay on your toes. I think when Tyler Smith got that penalty, he got that false start penalty, I think Dak was like, okay, I think he said something like, come on now, get yourself together, something like that. Like, he was just now, like you mentioned, he was on them, but just talk about like discipline, keeping them at a certain standard throughout the entire game. And you could just, and not that the guys were taking it a certain way, and just they were like, okay, I'm up for it. I'm a play for this guy. You saw Pickens, like you mentioned the offense, like you saw Pickens just evasive on the field. Any kind of way he wanted to make a play, he was doing that. And at the same time, and we talk about the media. I just wish that the media sometimes let games kind of play out, because I know Pickens was kind of, getting the ball early on, but then I saw certain media type putting out, say, CD has certain body language and, hey, he may be upset. And like, I don't want any kind of speculative, any kind of, speculation, any kind of assumptions out there. Because we saw how the game unfolded. We saw how both guys turned up. And then we saw CD get the touchdown. We saw Pickens turn up. Even saw Flo, our guy Flo, get the touchdown. So I think the fact, like you mentioned, that just the discipline, but really the guys kind of galvanizing together. But just you see the teamwork. You can feel the teamwork amongst the players. Like not just them holding Nealon's, not just them holding up Nealon's jersey, but you can kind of feel the guys even get closer. We talk about Shotty and his influence on the locker room since the offseason, but somehow, some way, these guys were able to get even tighter just in this past, in this bye week, in this last couple of weeks. And I don't know if you saw it, sis, like, and this may be a small thing. I don't know. I'm sure seeing on TV, but you know how Dak usually does. We talk about how Dak is like the king of fist bumps and things like that. But instead of the fist bumps, I kind of noticed that they were doing full handshakes. Instead of doing the fist bump when they get to the huddle, they were actually like they holding their hands out, doing full handshakes to every player in the huddle. And I'm like, you could just see that these guys are just getting closer and closer by the week. I just think that's important. Like that, these guys already respect each other and their brothers, but that's when they take handshakes as a form of respect. When you first meet somebody, you shake their hand. When a meeting's over, you shake their hand. You talk about a firm handshake like that. That speaks, man to man. And I think in the culture of football, I think that, at least in my opinion, kind of elevates it even more, because they're elevating the level of respect in the locker room. It's like now they want to be intentional and getting each other to know each other, not just off the field, but on the field as well. Know each other's strengths and weaknesses so they can be on each other, like you mentioned. So Dak can be on the alignment, like, hey, let me point this out to you guys. Make sure you guys do this so they can take it, take it to the next play, take it to the next series. You know what I'm saying? So I just think play by play, series by series, it's possible. I'm not saying this is our year, nothing like that, but it's possible for chemistry to grow. Like they say, some teams peak. It is possible to peak in the middle of the season, but I don't think this is the peak for our team. I think I think they still have some ceiling to go.
I agree with that, sis, and I agree with the word intentionality. It does feel like it's a real brotherhood, because you see the emotion, you see the critique,
right?
And I feel like you can only critique, like Shadi has said, like, I built that relationship so that when I am on your ass, you know that I'm on your ass out of love because I want the best for you. And I feel like all the leaders have kind of like mirrored that, where it's like they've been intentional, they built a real brotherhood. So now you don't feel uncomfortable to tell him, hey, like, do this. Right. Hey, you ran the wrong route. Like, now you can actually, because it's about accountability, holding people accountable, but you just also see like a different spirit. Like, we don't feel like a team. Like, when you looked at the sounds of the sideline, it didn't feel like a team that's like, oh, we 4-5-1 or we 3-5-1. Like, right. you saw a brotherhood, you saw a courage, you saw and of course, this is only one game, and we're gonna now transition, into the Philly game, because I know y'all want to talk about that. But the vibes just feel different. I don't know what the results of this year is gonna be. I know the playoff odds is still very low, but I'm saying the brotherhood feels authentic. It doesn't feel fake, and you're not seeing fighting. You're not seeing fighting. You're seeing correction and direction from the leaders, which I feel like is super important. But just looking at hi Nisi, glad to see you, Nisi. We really appreciate you. We have been missing you in the chat, so thank you so much for stopping by. And somebody said we took too long on the moves. I can agree with that. I feel like I wish we had a move sooner, but when you look at hindsight, like, nobody traded their big pieces till the trade deadline. So, like, nobody got that big piece until the week of the trade deadline. So, I wish we could have done it sooner, but I'm looking at the NFL and I'm like, well, maybe these teams wasn't trying to trade these players until the deadline, because I think at the deadline is when you can really tell, you can finally make a decision. Are we gonna try to make a push, or are we gonna just tank it out and rebuild? So I think that's pretty much where that came from. But yeah, as you said, this was a very good game. It did have the Washington Commanders vibes where it looked like a complete game, but this looked to me like more complete. Um, just from the intensity and the way that we played.
Yeah.
And Washington is a familiar opponent, so that you normally beat.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
the Las Vegas Raiders are not a familiar opponent. You know what I'm saying? We only play this team about every 4 years, I think. Because the last time we played them, I think it was 2019.
I'm gonna say I think they had Derek Carr. I think the last time we played them.
Right. I think it was 20.
If I'm not
I think
mistaken.
2019 or 20, or maybe it was 2021. Because I remember we played the Chiefs in
Yeah, might have-
2021. But it's
Yeah,
been
it was
some.
it was like a back and forth game or something like that, and like Derek Carr beat at the last second.
Right.
Or something like
It was
that.
Thanksgiving. Y'all remember that game?
Yes. Yeah. It was. Yeah. It wasn't too long ago. Yeah. Maybe I say about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, about 3. So we play him every like 3 to 4 years. But we can look at it. I mean, Javonte, he got his season high in carries, 22 carries, 93 yards, 4.2 average. Then Malik Davis. Hopefully, Shotty gives Malik Davis some more carries because, I mean, obviously 4 for 20 average and 5. He looked very good.
Yes.
He looked very good.
Yes. And
It's
I was so hopeful for this from Malik Davis. Not just specifically. I mean, I was hoping for a compliment. You know what I'm saying? We talk about who we're going to bring out to compliment Javonte Williams, but
somebody to
I'm thinking
spell
that
Williams.
out. Yeah.
Facts. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I do like Malik Davis, but Damian Pierce from the Texans was just released. If I'm the Cowboys, I am trying to sign him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to say because he's still a young back. Just basically, you're in a regime of coaches that did not draft you, so
right.
You're just.
You gotta feel the. I was say you gotta fill the roster spot anyway instead of losing Malik because he's out of elevations anyway, I believe, right? So.
Exactly, yeah, Malik Davis. So definitely, I hope the Cowboys. I think he's still subject to waivers, but I hope the Cowboys can get him off waivers if possible. We got our guy Hunter Lupke, who was very involved. I got to go back and watch the film, but allegedly they said Hunter Lupke has taken the role of Scoon.
I saw that tweet too. I saw that tweet too,
that they were playing him as tight end too, and I'm like, if they doing that, I'm for it, honestly, because I feel like Lupke, and I was talking to my brother about this, like Lupke gives you so much more than
Facts.
Even Ferguson.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about. I said it last week. Like,
he has way more
competition.
He has way more wiggle. We were going to him on third down. He was getting them. It was like, that can throw it to him short of the sticks, and Lukey can go and get the first down compared to giving it to Ferg. Ferg get tackled right where he was. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I mean, obviously Pickens went off 11 targets. Thank you, Shotty. Thank you, Dak, because this is what we were saying. Target Pickens, get him involved. The offense, this is no knock to CeeDee Lamb because we still love CeeDee Lamb, but Pickens is your true XY receiver, and you see how everything runs more smoothly when you're targeting Pickens. It just opens up everything else.
Right.
That's all we're saying. And there might be right. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you can clearly see Lamb was even being doubled into the second quarter, so it just kind of helps to just, like you said, open up the offense more, even give guys more opportunity, and then next thing you know, you're wide open in the end zone. See, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
exactly.
Happens, you know,
he was wide open twice. That other one he dropped, but he was wide open. CeeDee Lamb, because of George Pickens' presence, is wide open. Like, it's gonna make our lives so much easier. When you target Pickens, you get him involved. And CD may be the one to go out versus Philly. I feel like he gonna want to because he know he screwed up in that first game. He know he screwed us. So CD probably want to go off, and I hope you do, CD, because people are doing the comparisons and this and that. But I want to say this: I don't want the toxic culture, but also, guys, we cannot baby CD Lamb. Everybody on this team needs to push and max out. Even CeeDee Lamb. And I love CD. I know he's a Pro Bowler. I know he's an All-Pro. I know George Pickens is none of that. I'm not taking that away from CeeDee Lamb. But CeeDee Lamb's got to push it. I want CeeDee Lamb to max out. I want CeeDee Lamb to say, I'm going to stop having these mental lapses during the games and these temper tantrums during games. I want him because now he has the pressure to do it. See, before, he didn't have any pressure because it's like,
Y'all ain't got nobody else to go to.
Exactly. But now with Pickens and how Pickens is showing consistency, Pickens is your easy button wide receiver. I know I'm gonna throw it to him and he's gonna catch it 9 times out of 10. Now because you have that type of pressure, I expect CD to elevate his game. And it's just about being. He's an all pro. I know that. I'm just saying in the big moments, we need CD to be more consistent. That's it. In the big moments, in the big games, in the playoff, we need him to be more consistent and show up. So, but yeah, Hunter Lukey, obviously he got 3 targets for 36, 12 average. See, that's what I'm talking about. You see Jake Ferguson, 4-yard average compared to Hunter Lukey 12.
Mm-mm.
And then you got Flournoy, who another game, another touchdown. Like, he's your wide receiver 3. Turpin, I'm tired. No, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I'm not gonna lie, sis. You know me, I was the biggest Turpin stan, but I just need, at this point, I'm kind of just, because at least for me, in my opinion, he did a little better in special teams this past game, but his offensive role right now is not, I'm gonna say non-existent, but it's not impactful. Either
it's not impactful. He can't catch
the ball, or he's catching it, or like drops it, or
all of a sudden he can't catch the ball.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just paid you too. That's it's like these guys we just paid are having these up and down games, or having these, I don't know, these setbacks, or these mind leaks or something like that. But it's just like, we're paying you guys to do a job. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still a Turpin stan. But at this point, I'm ready to see a little bit more Flournoy, or a little bit more Span Ford, or a little bit more Hunter Lipke. Guys who are producing on the field.
Facts. And just a preview, I'm gonna go to the Philly game because they should have the preview here. Of course, Philly is favored. Duh. I mean, what's Philly's record? Philly is,
I think, 8-2.
Yeah, I think they're 8-2. So, yeah, Philly's 8-2. Yeah, so they're 8-2. Of course, they're favored. Y'all see that 56.6%. They believe Philly gonna win. Chances to win is 56 compared to our 43. But if we look at the matchups, and we could just go down the line. Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts? Go.
All right, Dak.
Exactly. Exactly. What's next? Javonte Williams. Now, when we look at production, of course, I'm not gonna say that. I can't say that Javonte better than Saquon because that's being disingenuous. But production,
right?
And Javonte has less carries. Y'all see that? 161 carries for Javonte, 175 for Saquon. He's got 662 yards, 4 touchdowns. Javonte 809, 8 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
And Javonte,
and that's without a compliment, without no compliment. Yeah, I see what. Because even I feel what you're saying, sis. Because even now, I probably wouldn't say Javonte.
Glad to see you, Chris, a guy from Night Owl Cowboy. A great group. Thank you, Chris, for being here. We appreciate you. But go ahead.
Appreciate you, and on the Facebook group, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming through. But I'll say at least with our defense, because we've been pretty. I think we've been pretty good at kind of handling Saquon Barkley in general. But as far as I definitely agree with you that as far as athlete overall, I definitely say Barkley is definitely and I say that on a different level than Javonte Williams. But I like how Williams has been coming along.
Exactly. Like Javonte Williams has had a great season for us. He's top 5 in yards too. He's top 5 in yards and number 2 behind Jonathan Taylor in yards after contact. So this year, I'm giving Javonte the tip, but overall, as a player, Saquon obviously beats Javonte. Like we gotta be serious here. Now, looking at the receivers, Pickens 908 yards, 7 touchdowns. This sad. I don't even got Smitty on the damn thumbnail because AJ Brown is AJ Brown is not, bro. AJ Brown. I hope y'all know. I don't know if there's any Philly fans in here. But I hope y'all know this is y'all last year with AJ Brown. I hope y'all know that. Yeah. AJ's gone. Yeah. Like, he continues to talk shit and throw shade. Either it's at Hurts, what's his name? A former Eagles, Deshaun Jackson, That's his name. Deshaun Jackson came out today. He said he's very close friends with AJ Brown. And he said AJ Brown and Hurts, he said it's deeper. People just think, oh, it's the offense. He said no. He said, I'm not going to say what it is because I can't say what it is, but it's deep. Because I'm like, even today, AJ Brown, they were like, oh, AJ, do you watch the other receivers around the league? And he was like, nope, I don't watch them. They say, well, why don't you watch them? He said, because it makes me upset.
Oh.
So I think
I can understand. I can understand. You know, I mean, and especially in previous seasons. I mean, your team went to the Super Bowl, but like you just feel like you're not getting the production that you feel like you deserve. I mean, we talked about CD, you know, being overfed. We're trying to constantly feed CD, but you have two receivers over there. You know what I'm saying? As far as Philly, and it's just like, man, like to see something like that is. I thought more than likely he would probably been going to trade deadline. And people talk about Diggs over in Cowboys.
He was too. I thought he was too, but I feel like
Brown.
Howie probably felt it was too risky to do that in the middle of the season. But AJ's gone for sure because by next year, this is his last year. But Smitty versus Pickens, I think we know the answer to that. I think we know the answer. Yeah. The answer to that it's going to be George Pickens all day long.
Correct.
Smitty, we never know if Smitty can really take on that wide receiver one mantle. I know he was a Heisman winner trophy and stuff like that, but remember they got Smitty and then they went back and got AJ Brown because they obviously didn't feel like Smitty was a true number one. So. Right.
And I feel like he has more production being a number two wide receiver because I feel like not that you forget about him, but you know they're so busy covering AJ Brown and all of a sudden out of nowhere, and he gets those deep field passes. You know what I'm saying? Those big passes, just like how we talked about Gallup.
Right.
It's kind of like back when Gallup was like our number two wide receiver who would get those passes. Like I think Devontae Smith kind of plays that role for them. So
I agree.
He can be sneaky, but I feel like because we utilize or because the Cowboys utilize George Pickens more often, that he's definitely a higher. A more complete weapon as far as a wide receiver too than Devontae Smith.
Facts. That's okay. Never mind. But going back, because it's just the leaders on each team. Golly.
Oh, okay.
Moro Ajomo. I wanted Moro Ajomo coming out of Texas. I did want him, and he's having a great for Philly. He's pretty much their what was that guy's name that now plays for the Patriots? Something Williams. Milton Williams. He's their Milton Williams man. He's clearly stepped right on it. And James Houston, which is crazy. James Houston ain't got no sacks in a minute. No, he just got a half sack. But James Houston is leading our team in sacks, which is crazy because he hardly plays.
I'm right.
So that's interesting, but I think with the way that Easy and Fowler just affect the game, pass deflections, tackles for loss. Not Fowler, sorry, Clowney, but pass deflections.
I've been calling him Fowler too for some reason. When I be at home watching the game, I swear I be saying Fowler every time. I'm like, why do I keep calling this dude Fowler, man? And there's no disrespect. For some reason, I keep saying Fowler.
It's just, I don't know. It just rolled off my tongue. But I think your defensive line looks better with Easy and Clowney on the end compared to James Houston. Because James Houston is more of a sack specialist. But honestly, he be making plays versus the run too. I feel like the rotation should be Easy, Clowney, then James Houston should be next. And then Fowler, and then Sam Williams. That's how I feel it should go. Because Sam Williams is giving you absolutely nothing. He's not gonna be here next year. And then Kenneth Murray is your leader in tackles, but we can't look. Zach Bond is of course way better than Kenneth Murray, and I'm sad to say that because I love Kenneth Murray, but he's looked good these past 2 games. But let's not act like he has not been a liability in a lot of games as well, especially versus the run. Zach Bond is first team All-Pro just last year. A special teamer turned first team All-Pro, but still an All-Pro. So he's obviously top of the line linebacker. But we could kind of just talk about in the show, sis, on because where we at? Okay, so about in 10 minutes it'll be about an hour. So we can kind of just I guess talk about the matchups, like what do we expect to see? What do we want to see in this game? And then also yeah, I think that's good. Just talk about the matchup, what you expect to see, how you think we're gonna be able to win this game. Do you think we can win this game?
I'll say first, I'm very excited that this is a home game. I'm glad that that the guys are gonna be, and actually looking at the next few weeks, I think the next 3 out of 4 are home games. So I'm glad the guys will be able to kind of
Yeah, we have a lot of home games coming up.
Yeah, hopefully be able to kind of create a rhythm. Not saying, I don't want to say comfortability, but just being able to kind of be in close surroundings. But as far as this game, I'm glad it's an afternoon game. But as far as what I want to see, I kind of want to see more of what I saw last week. Players like Lipke, Ferguson continuing to progress, because I definitely want to see him make more contested catches. But I do like the progress he's making. And then I'm taking a look at my notes. This past game, I know it's not an every game type thing, but I kind of want to see Javonte Williams kind of practice a little bit more ball security. I know it didn't, end up being ruled a fumble, but once again, the ball was kind of knocked out from behind. So especially with a defense like Philly, I just want to see a little bit more ball security just altogether, and then also continue to compliment him with Malik Davis. And I think I kind of said early in the season that I know he wasn't going to be the overall answer, but like you mentioned earlier, averaging 5 yards a pop. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if we're going to see Moff anytime soon. They obviously didn't make a move at the trade deadline, and he comes in. He's comfortable with the team, with the facility, with the surroundings. So, I mean, I'm glad he was able to get the chance, and I feel like if any coach is going to give him a chance, it's going to be Shoddy, right? So, I definitely want to see a little bit more of a compliment. And something that Dak mentioned in his interview earlier. He talked about his completion percentage, something that he takes the most pride in. I think someone asked him a question as far as what's something you take the most pride in as far as stats, most completions, things like that. Mm-hmm. And they actually mentioned in this past game that Dak with play action this season, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 81% completion percentage. Wow. And he actually mentioned that's like he mentioned he takes the most pride in that, and that he actually strives to achieve an 80% completion percentage. And he's pretty much saying that he's having fun. And of course we see, Dak is playing out of his world right now, but I want to see, we mentioned this, I think a couple years ago or 2023 when, McCarthy pretty much gave Dak the keys to the offense. Mm-hmm. I love that Shoddy is instilling that confidence and continuing to instill that confidence in Dak and letting him have, and rightfully so, control of his team. And I love that the energy that he's giving off to the players and vice versa. So I just want to see a continuation of that. Dak controlling, Dak being in control of the team and play calling as well. I mean, I think you mentioned it earlier, sis, about Javonte Williams having let me see, 22 carries. I think he had a career high.
Yeah, it was his career high.
Yeah, 22 carries, and he actually had a career high 7 rushes in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. So I like that Shoddy didn't go away from the run game. So I mean, I think we mentioned a couple of games ago that he did kind of stray away from it. So I just want to see a continuation of the run game, a continuation of Dak having control of the team, up tempo. I love the tempo that we've seen. Just getting the guys to the line. It continues, especially a defense like this, like I mentioned earlier, just continue to keep them on their heels. I think that can be a tactic that they use against this Philly defense. That's just some of the things I want to see.
Facts, and I'm just showing. Because I'm trying to see where is Dak's completion percentage. Because he's top 5 in yards. But I'm like, will it tell us the completion percentage? Or I know he's having the best completion percentage of his career. Okay, this is it right here. Okay. So Dak's top 4 this year in completion percentage. But of course, Tyler Huntley, I mean, you can't cut. That's a backup. You can't catch him. He barely throwing the ball. Drake May is also hardly throwing the ball, even though he's having a great year. But he hasn't even thrown for 300 yards a game yet. There's right. Sam Darnold. Okay. Then Daniel Jones, which we know he's got the real MVP over there, and Jonathan Taylor. And then Dak. So, but top 5 in completion percentage, top 5 in yards, and then he's number 1 in total QBR 7, which 75.1 QBR is crazy. The next is Drake May at 73, who's barely throwing the ball. You know what I'm saying? So his QBR is through the roof. That means Dak's been playing pretty great football. And then passer rating. Okay, he's top 10 in passer rating. So anyway, what I want to see. What's up, Rico? And Brian popped in. Doing good, Brian. He said, "How's it going?" We're doing good. Thank you for popping in. What did Chris? He said, "Ever since I seen him play his rookie year, I said we need to cover to keep Hunter Luepke right because he does block well, catch out of the backfield, and can handle." Hunter Luepke is the missing piece, and me and you sis have been talking about when we gonna get him involved in offense. Shotty ranted and raved about Hunter Luepke. But I'm like, when is he going to get involved? If you like him so much, he should be playing. So I really feel like that's their wrinkle that they've added to the offense over the bye of why the hell? They probably looked at themselves and was like, why the hell are we not using Hunter Luepke? Like, what have we been doing? So now you're going to see him get.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, I talked about the Cowboys coming out of the bye week. I mean, Shotty takes a look around the league and looks like looking at their mistakes and seeing what they fell short on.
Facts. So, but just to wrap up, what I want to see. What I want to see totally from the team is to continue to build. We have yet to win 2 games back to back. So I would really like to win this game. I think we can win this game, and I think we will win this game. We usually split with Philly. Philly's offense is really struggling. We talked about AJ Brown and stuff like that. And then on top of we showed Saquon. Saquon is having a down year. So Saquon's having a down year. Yeah. AJ's having a down year. Then we didn't talk about it, but the injuries. Lane Johnson is out. Lane Johnson, their perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl tackle, he's out pretty much for the rest of the season with a Liz Frank injury. Then you got Cam Jurgens. He's been hurt all year. Then who else? Let me go. Actually, let me pull up Philly injury report real fast. I don't know if I can Philadelphia. I want to see if it'll pop up. Eagles injury report. I don't know if it'll pop up, but if I just yeah. Is this from the day? Okay, yeah. So yeah, Lane Johnson is out with a foot injury. Cam Jurgens is out with a concussion. And then looks like Jalen Phillips, he's dealing with a shoulder injury, but he was still a full participant. So yeah, they're beat up on that offensive line. So I can expect complete domination up front with our front versus their offensive line. I think I don't think what we saw versus Vegas is a fluke. I think you gonna really see this is who we are now because we've got 3 monsters in the interior. So So
plus, I would say +2, Perion Winfrey and Solomon Thomas, who didn't even play last week. So we got 2 more guys coming. You know what I'm saying? It's like we talk about a weapon.
We are deep. We got
double-edged sword around here.
Deep, right? And you can play Solomon Thomas across the line, Osa, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams. This is about to get. I'm telling y'all. So I expect complete dominance. I expect Hurts. He ain't gonna complete. I'm telling you right now, Hurts will not complete many passes. He's not gonna complete many passes. He's not. Right. Hurts will not complete many passes. Against us, I think we're gonna see total domination on the line of scrimmage, and I also feel like our offensive line is building, and I expect us to have domination too. I think people are like, "Oh, Jalen Carter wasn't playing last time." Okay, we're gonna see what Jalen Carter do.
Right, and there was actually an article. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I think Todd Archer, I believe, said that. Wow, let me see if I'm gonna get it right. There was an article. Both interviewed both Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott. Returning playing against each other again after Spitgate, quote unquote, and just saying that saying it's not going to matter. Yeah, and then they kind of talked to Clayton Adams a little bit. And he mentioned that even though Jalen Carter didn't play in that game. it didn't really change up anything. Like they played the same game. They didn't, just throw everything out the window. Clayton Adams said. So it's like they still had the same game plan. So I mean, like you mentioned, even though Jalen Carter's playing in this game, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. I think it's going to be something where we see the offensive line finally just kind of get their feet, together and just really kind of take over this defensive line.
Facts. And then running the ball, we were able to run the ball pretty well against them week 1, I believe. Yeah, because that was a game where we looked at Javonte and we was like, okay. So think we're gonna be able to run the ball.
Like week 1, we was like, yeah, we surprised.
Stay balanced. Let Dak, like he said, keep playing point guard, getting the ball to his guys. I mean, Cooper DeJean is a beast, but he's no match. He's no match for Pickens or CeeDee Lamb. Now, Guantanamo Bay, he's pretty damn good. But I still like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, especially George Pickens, over Guantanamo Bay, even though he's a pretty good corner. And then, yeah, I'm just expecting us to continue to build. I know we're going to really be focused this game. We're always focused versus Philly, but we're really going to be locked in because we know we should have won week 1. We know we should have won week 1. Philly is beat up and they're struggling, and even though they're winning these games, like, it's not pretty. It's not symbiotic. It's a lot of shit going on. You know what I'm saying with Philly. So
I think Jalen Hurts only had the only touchdown in the last game, as far as on the Philly side. You know, what I mean? The quarterback.
It's not. They're not really being productive, and that's because they're not together. What's up, the lunatic? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. He said share, like, and sub. Thank you, the lunatic. Really appreciate it. But yeah, so I really do expect Dallas to dominate. The only way we lose this game is if we don't execute. I feel the exact same way as Shotty said last week. The only way we lose against Philly is we literally don't execute. They don't have an offense. Even when last week they forced it. They fed AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Still could not produce any offense. And then what else? And then their defense is good. We're not gonna act like their defense isn't good, but their defense is always good. Like, let's just be honest. Like, Philly defense they are usually top 5. They're 1 this year. They were 1 last year. I believe in 2022 they were the number 1 defense as well, or the number 2 defense. So Philly always got a good defense. You know what I'm saying? But is your defense any match for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Javonte Williams and now Flournoy? Now we added in Hunter Luepke. Like, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But
I think that's one major difference too. I mean, I know what McCarthy. I know McCarthy kind of had like ups and downs with the O-line, but I like that shot. I know we had injuries early in the season, like Chris Hennigan just mentioned, you have injuries on the line. But I mean, these guys have been able to play kind of back-to-back games. Gain the chemistry. BB, you know what I'm saying? Booker came back, and it's still all season.
Booker, right? BB Booker, Tyler Smith, and then your 2 tackles had the best game of the season last week. Guyton 0 pressures, and they said Guyton was on an island by himself 75% of the snaps. 0 pressures, 0. So, and Terrence Steele, shout out to Steele too, because Steele only gave up 2 pressures. That sack fumble wasn't on Steele; it was on Dak because Dak just held the ball too long. Like,
Max Crosby came around the stunt. You know what I'm saying? So he just found that open gap and came around and just happened to catch Dak because he didn't get it over at the CD. So.
Exactly. So I'm expecting domination. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting domination. I'm expecting to be on a 2-win streak after Philly, or a win streak after Philly, and then next is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's the game I've had a feeling in my heart since the beginning of the season that we're going to beat the Chiefs. I don't know why. People may say that's crazy, that's delusional. You know, they struggling, but y'all know match for the Chiefs. All right. But I felt confidently. Since I saw them on the schedule, I have confidently felt like we are going to beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. I could be delusional, but that's literally what I felt. I have no concerns about that game. Like no,
they're lacking the run game. They're lacking the run game right now. So the defensive line might have some opportunities at the line. You know what I'm saying? I know Patrick likes to scramble and things like that and try to create plays on his own. But I mean, I don't know how long Pacheco was out, but Hunt, you know, he's a tough runner, but I just don't think they have a great compliment right now.
They don't have any. They don't.
They're gonna have some opportunity.
Yeah, that you're right, sis. But we'll get into that. We ain't gonna get into that right too much. But but Rico, he said great Booker play so far this year.
I feel like I give.
Yeah, I would say I'd give him like a B plus, maybe not an A because he's missed some time. He's also had some mental blunders here and there, but I feel like for the most part, Booker has performed pretty good. See, I give him. I think I give him a solid B. Good. Yeah, he's been pretty good for us. He's been pretty good for us. That's what I would grade him. But, all right, guys. Well, I think this was pretty much good summary. Hopefully, this week gonna be crazy because y'all know it's always Philly week is crazy.
You saw me start smiling as soon as you said it. I'm like, I'm ready. Sis, look, it's already Thursday. Like, look, Friday.
Philly week is gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be fun as hell. I love Philly week. I love Philly week because. But I'm
gonna watch some of these Philly and Cowboy content creators. How to, I know they're doing some shows this week. I'm gonna try to watch those this weekend because those are some really good build-ups. You know what I'm saying? We always see the back and forth, but seeing the content creators kind of take
do those joint shows.
You know, for sure. Yeah, kind of just take the mental aspect of it. And just in my opinion, it's the mental aspect of it. Kind of like the fan vision. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of really going back and forth, kind of like going head to head. It makes it even more exciting. Dylan says filthy defense has saved them last 2 games, but Eagles and KC could have been at home, in my opinion, especially if our offense starts clicking again. Yeah, I agree with you, the lunatic. I mean, offense. I'm not gonna say our offense has been our safety net, but I mean, just if you look at my last point, if you look at the last game, the first 3 possessions was punt, fumble, field goal, and they kind of mentioned in the game that we were looking for this whole season, just a defense to kind of give us a chance, and really not even just to make, well, number one, to make a couple of stops, but also to give your offense a chance to kind of get themselves going as well, because they mentioned in the game that in other instances early in the season, that game could have been 14-3 if we're playing a stronger offense. You know what I'm saying? 21-3 could have got out of hand, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that the defense was able to step up early, make that stop on that early turnover, but make that stop and really just kind of establish themselves at that moment. Like, hey, we here, we're gonna start trying to make some stops. So I'm glad that the defense gave the offense a chance, and that's just one thing I want to see going forward, not this next game, but going forward in the season. This is the defense continue to step up and getting the ball back to the offense.
That defense, right? That's what I expect to see. We're gonna see a flip. Because I think we legit changed our defense, and I do feel that our defense will start to look like a real NFL defense. A real NFL defense going forward. Right. You know what I'm saying? As long as we don't face like any crazy injuries or any crazy injury. Yeah, but I think that's funny. Yeah. I do believe that, since I believe the defense is going to anchor us through the rest of this season, and we're going to be able to pull out some of these games, because our defense is actually going to show up, which is going to be crazy when you have the first half of the season, you have the worst defense, but hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
You know what I'm saying?
So you could go from the worst defense
the young guys, they bring that
to
energy,
the best defense. You literally could. You could go from the worst defense to the best defense the second half of the season. So anyways, guys, thank y'all so much. Yeah. I know Boss and Henny and Landlord and them and Amp are on Boss Lands. I know probably a lot of people left after went there. So, but thank y'all so much for rocking in the chat with us. We really appreciate everybody's support. Please make sure you hit the like button on your way out, the share button, and also please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Mine is Stargazer Sports. Mickey's is Cravin Cowboys, and then also please donate, like you see there on the screen. Please donate to our cash apps so that we can continue to grow the channel. And we're getting closer. We didn't get to 1,000, but y'all got me up to 978. So if you're watching on the playback, or 976. So if you're watching on the playback, please subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer. Only need 24 more. But thank y'all so much.
Yes, appreciate everybody's time tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. And in the words of Dylan and Tech, like he said, F Philly.
F
Appreciate you guys.
Philly!
We'll see you guys next week. Appreciate your time, sis. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Love you guys. Peace
Love
out.
y'all. Bye.